Inspiring, interesting, powerful, and funny. That's how I and other people would describe this absolute gem of a work. Shionma, the leader of the demonic sect, has engaged in battle with an alliance of more than 20 sects, including Mount Hua sect. But in the end, the result was the total annihilation of both parties. All that's left is Shionma, who has been run through multiple swords, and a lone disciple of the Mount Hua sect, who not only lost all of his companions, but also his arm. In this final confrontation, the disciple of Mount Hua sect manages to sever Shionma's head, but ultimately dies to his wounds, wondering if he could have changed anything. And that's when he wakes up 100 years in the future, in the body of a child.
Do what I gotta do to make sure we fortified as a unit, but don't leave me mortified. If you'd have kept it 100, a brother would be more than fine. Gave you more than time, gave you some peace of mind. That's why I got some qualms about the way you treated mine. You came close to doing damage to my third.
Return of the Blossoming Blade is seriously impressive. It has around 80 chapters on WEBTOON, and every single one of them is incredible. It's definitely a top tier choice if you're into manhwa. The story mixes action, funny moments, and a super interesting plot. Not only does it have all of the action that you're probably expecting from a martial arts manhwa, but it also has very touching moments, where you see the passion that the main character has for his former companions. It's funny how this work had such a huge impact when it first came out, but because chapters do take a while to be made, the impact dissipated throughout the times. But just yesterday, I finished reading all the chapters currently available, and I can tell you that the hype of this series only keeps building up, from chapter 1 all the way to chapter 80. Absolutely a 10 out of 10, and there are plenty of reasons why. The most obvious is the fights. Not only does it perfectly showcases the expressions of the characters, but also gives you goosebumps whenever you see the detailed rage of certain moments. And one of the main points, it's easy to follow. One of the biggest drawbacks of the current manhwa works is that even though they have good art, it's hard to follow because there's so much happening at the same time. But that's definitely not a problem in this one. In addition, every character is unique in the way they look, which make it fairly easy for you to not only recognize them, but also memorize them. But I'll talk a bit more about that when we talk about the characters. As I mentioned before, every character is unique. Take these three for example. This is the main character, Sean Myung. This is Jo Gae, and this is Yoon Jong. By the way, I'm sorry if my pronunciation is horrible, I tried. These three are not only unique in their art style, be it their eyes, hair, or even eyebrows, but they also have very distinct personalities, this one being extremely loud and mischievous, while the others are humble and quiet respectively. And throughout the story, you get introduced to many other characters, like the sect leader, the possible love interest, and this seriously funny elder. No, seriously, it's one of my favorite characters. I laugh out loud with some of the things he does. All of them combined to make an amazing story. If by now I couldn't convince you to read this work, I don't know what else to do. After rereading this work, it immediately went into my top 1 of martial arts manhwa, and that's saying a lot. This is an incredible journey where you can see not only the main character's development, but also the development of everyone else in the sect, and of course the sect itself. As I mentioned before, this work is on WEBTOON, and you can also go down to the description where I left a link that will lead you directly to chapter 1 of this work. So, don't waste another second and go read it. And obviously, don't forget to let me know in the comments if you feel the same way I do. That's all from me, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.